on today's installment of Big Al's Garage. Old car, modern stereo. How y'all doing? I'm Big Al, and welcome to the garage. Well, little update on the 65 Corvair. We have gotten the cylinder head back on, repaired the drop valve seat, and the engine is running quite well. However, I still have a fuel starvation issue I need to chase down, but I have a pretty good idea of what that is. But now that we've treated the brain hemorrhage, it's time to treat some of the paper cuts. And one of those is the stereo head unit that I installed way back when isn't remembering the radio presets or any of the settings I put into it. So tonight, hopefully, we're going to find out why. Let's get to it. Okay, so Corvair's stock infotainment system basically consists of an AM radio, in this case it's broken, and a clock that's right twice a day. So I went ahead and I installed this inexpensive Pioneer head unit. Rather than take the stock radio out and lose the historic look, I went for the under the dash mount, which allows me the modern capabilities. It has aux in, USB. The only thing it doesn't have is Bluetooth, but hey, you can't have everything, and it was only 50 bucks. Now, these cars are fairly easy to break into, so I'd rather have a cheap head unit. But the problem, let me move it to start. It's not even going to do anything this time. See? It always goes into setup mode. It's not remembering anything, which means it's losing power. When the key is turned off, there is a connection under here that is meant to serve that purpose, and that's what we're going to troubleshoot. I'm not going to lie, this is a pretty janky stereo install. This here is the main power connection to the head unit. It runs from the original radio fuse, obviously, to the head unit, and I put a 10 amp inline fuse in the middle, but it's this green wire that's supposed to supply power to it, so it, remembers the radio presets and clock setting and everything that I think may be the culprit. Either the connection is loose, or the fuse is blown. We're going to see with the engine off if it's even getting power. Well, I should say with the ignition switch off. We get our multimeter, this to the ground, and a whole lot of nothing. Well, 0.01 volts. Okay. Oops, almost cheap Harbor Freight meter. We don't want to break it. Now, 0.01 volts. So the memory wire should be receiving 12 volts. Let's have a look at that fuse. Really hard to tell from this angle. This fuse box is just ancient. And they're both hooked up to the same 12 volt connection, the same radio fuse, so I'm not sure. I have a feeling this connection may be the problem here. What does this go to? I don't want to just go willy-nilly pulling wires, obviously. Let's push that up there properly and see what happens now. Of course, if that connection is loose, it's just going to recur, so. Another fun thing working around the steering wheel. This is not an easy thing to diagnose. see what the meter reads now that I pushed that in a little tighter. Oh, 01. So, let's see. We'll try reconnecting that wire to the bottom of the fuse box, but let me check that connection. Let me make sure I've got this connected to the right thing. Let's turn the power on and try it now. That could explain a lot. But doesn't explain why it worked for a while and then crapped out. Oh yeah, it's hooked up the wrong way. Now it's got the full 12 volts. Now we just have to figure out what the correct 12 volt output is. Let's get some alligator clips. That'll make my life a lot easier. Now, with the ignition key set to off, we're going to try and find a place that still puts out 12 volts. Heater. No. Aha. The clock fuse. That is where I should connect this thing to. So, did I solder this thing on? Of course I did. Well, there's an easy way to fix that. Just cut that wire and be done with it. Okay, the stereo is now hooked up to a steady 12 volt power source. That's the clock fuse in a Corvair. So let's go set up. Yes. Let's see, what time is it anyway? It's going to be about 9 o'clock. 9:19. Step 50. Step 9. Yes. Now, of course, this is the other annoying part, is it gets stuck in demo mode. So you go into System menu, System, Clock Set, Auxiliary on, USB on, Demo off. Yes. Now we back out of the menu. And there we are, just displaying the time, 9:20 p.m. Let's turn the key off, leave it for a minute while I go get some tunes. Okay, so the key has been out of the ignition now for a couple of minutes. Oh, let's hope this worked. So I'm getting really tired of the radio Dang! Close but no cigar. This is getting a little irksome now. Okay. Got to make sure that memory wire is getting the 12 volts. Why I'm getting this radio amnesia all of a sudden. Let's pull this out. They said this is a super janky install. Fortunately, they're not going to let me pull it all the way out. Yeah, we're going to have to drop this mount, and I really don't want to do that, but I'm like, I don't have a choice. So here we have it, the world's jankiest stereo install. This red wire here is the one we are most concerned with right now. That is our memory wire. Let's see if it's finally getting 12 volts at this end. It is. Thank God. These other wires are, of course, speaker wires. This black one is the ground wire that's connected to the body. Of course, this yellow guy here is the one that goes to the key, which has come disconnected, of course. So, next thing is just, I guess, put the head unit back up. Hope for the best. Okay. Here we are, going through the setup again. It is 9:50 now. Now we just have to turn off demo mode. Demo off. Yes. Back out. Let's see what happens. In the meantime, I'll put this USB stick in here. Let's hope this works this time. Okay. Yes! I think we have success. Now we put source. No. USB. Alright, we have some totally non-copyrighted music. Alright. Now, you're wondering about speakers. In a Corvair, the rear package tray makes an excellent speaker installation area. Got a pair of 6x9s back here. Just mounted in some Luan plywood lined with Walmart indoor-outdoor carpeting tiles. I think we have the cannolis, folks. I'll really hedge my bets and set the radio presets. So there you have it, folks. That is how you put modern sound in an old car. We made my stereo system a lot less janky and cured its radio amnesia. Admittedly, putting a modern stereo head unit into a classic car is going to be a bit of a square peg in a round hole type of situation, but it can be done. One thing also that you'll need to consider is the head unit will drain on the battery slightly, so if you're going to park the car for a while, either disconnect that radio fuse and deal with resetting all your presets and everything, or make sure your car is hooked up to a battery tender, which I always do anyway. Anyway, that's it for today. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next installment.